I'm a personal trainer with over a decade of experience in the fitness industry, and I've thoroughly studied every aspect of how Simu Liu went from a goofy sitcom actor and transformed himself into one of Marvel's most jacked heroes. And I'm about to give you all the knowledge you need to transform yourself into a ripped six-pack wielding warrior just like him, including a full workout program based off of his training for Shang-Chi. As Shang-Chi is a jacked martial arts master, the role is an incredibly physically demanding one. Going into the physical prep for the movie, Simu was already in pretty decent shape, but nowhere close to where he needed to be for the final film, so he had his work cut out for him. To convincingly portray the 10-ring wielding Avenger, Simu needed to become highly adept in multiple forms of martial arts. He had to drastically increase his mobility, so he could pull off moves like this without tearing himself a new sling ring portal. And he also had to build a ripped Marvel tier physique that could stand toe-to-toe with Chris Evans and Tom Holland's, but without allowing this extra muscle mass to negatively affect his martial arts abilities. Martial arts and acrobatics aren't typically the easiest things to balance with conventional bodybuilding training, because for every pound of muscle that you add to your frame, your punches become slower and your backflips become much harder to pull off. So Simu and his trainers had to put their heads together to come up with a bodybuilding plan that wouldn't mess with his acrobatic and martial arts abilities. And after some thinking, they came up with this ingenious plan that was the best of all worlds. And it's something that I like to call athletic bodybuilding. Simu did all of his resistance training with the legendary owner of Barbell Brigade, Bart Kwan. The program that Simu followed consisted of two parts: explosive plyometric movements for Simu's lower body and core, and then more conventional high-volume bodybuilding movements for Simu's upper body. The reason Bart Kwan set up Simu's training this way is really genius, and anyone who wants to build a great-looking physique while improving their athletic performance should listen up. Here's a breakdown of what one of the workouts from the program would look like. They would always start with a quick warm-up to get the blood flowing, before going into something called contrast training. Contrast training is a method that takes advantage of a phenomenon known as post-activation potentiation to improve maximum power output. PAP is a temporary enhancement of the muscle's ability to generate force following a high-intensity activity or contraction, primarily due to increased muscle activation, changes in muscle fiber recruitment, and improved neuromuscular efficiency. In contrast training, athletes alternate between a heavy resistance exercise to trigger PAP and a lighter, more explosive movement that targets the same muscle group. The idea is that the heavy exercise primes the muscles, allowing them to generate more force during the subsequent lighter, power-focused movement. For example, in this workout, Bart had Simu doing explosive banded deadlifts to prime his legs before going straight into box jumps. And then he had him do a weighted sled push straight into a max effort sprint. This contrast training was perfect for developing the explosive leg drive that would power all of Simu's sick flips, jumps, and martial arts moves in the final film. Now, if you're liking the breakdown and want me to make one covering the legendary Bruce Lee's training, leave a like, subscribe, and comment Bruce Lee down below. After the lower body training, Simu would then move on to some explosive rotational work in the form of lateral med ball throws before moving into the second part of this training plan, the high volume bodybuilding work, which in this workout took the form of 3 sets of 15 of each of lateral raises and lat pull downs. Now, if you want to perform like Shang-Chi, you gotta look the part too, and that's where my partners over at SuperX come in. They create the world's most badass workout gear with designs based off all your favorite superheroes and villains. All their products are super high quality and super comfortable, so you won't just look good in your SuperX gear, but you'll be feeling good too. They just dropped phase 2 of their new releases that feature some sick new suits and these Naruto-inspired lifting belts and matching lifting straps. As an anime fan, these are super sick and I'm definitely gonna get some for myself. So go check them out using the link in the description of this video. And once you found something that you like, use code DEMERCE for 15% off your order. But act fast, because everything they sell is in limited runs and sells out fast. Now, the reason why Bart Kwan programmed things in this way is really genius. There were 2 things Simu's resistance training program needed to do. 1, build him a physique that would look amazing on camera and in promotional materials for the film. 2, increase his martial arts and acrobatic performance. And these 2 goals had to be accomplished simultaneously without conflicting with each other. So by performing mostly low volume, high intensity movements for Simu's lower body, this would do a great job of increasing his power output without adding on very much muscle to his lower body, which might not sound like that great of a thing. Like, who doesn't want more muscle? But in this case, it is ideal because the extra weight in his legs and hips would negatively impact his martial arts and acrobatic movements. Because remember, to build a significant amount of muscle, you need to train with a high amount of volume. This means a lot of reps and sets. And when you train at a lower volume with a really high intensity, so that means less sets and reps but more weight, you'll more so develop power and strength while just building a little bit of muscle. This is exactly why Bart had Simu doing all of this high volume bodybuilding work on his upper body. Because let's be honest, Marvel heroes only really need to have muscular upper bodies. I mean, I dare you to find me one photo of Thor, Spider-Man, Captain America, or Shang-Chi in shorts. So by having Simu mostly just add muscle to his upper body, Bart was able to drastically improve the look of Simu's physique, what we could see of it at least, without weighing him down so much that it would impact his speed and ability to do sick backflips. Now before I give you your very own Shang-Chi training plan, we need to talk about diet, because of course you won't be building any muscle without the right diet, and in Simu's case, he needed to follow a very specific one that would allow him to gain muscle while gaining as little fat as possible, because if you think more muscular legs would weigh him down, imagine what a big old belly would do to him. So to build muscle while putting on as little fat as possible, you need to be eating just slightly more calories than your body is burning each day, aka you need to be in a slight calorie surplus. By eating in a small surplus of 200 to 300 calories a day, while also consuming around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day, and also training hard, you'll be giving your body just enough resources to recover from your training and slowly put on muscle without giving it so much that it'll convert it into body fat. Now go download the free 3-day-week full body athletic bodybuilding plan that I've created based on Simu's training for Shang-Chi. And keep in mind that this program is for intermediate lifters. So if you're a beginner, I recommend that you check out my 17-week at-home training plan first, and then move on to a program like this. And now to learn about the best way to get insanely jacked, powerful, and flexible like everybody's favorite anime protagonist Baki the Grappler, go check out this video here and I'll see you there.